Hey guys, this is Sundown Rider here, and this is going to be my chapter review to One Piece 842, The Power of Fullness. So we go straight into the cover page where Sanji's braiding a catfish's whiskers, and he's styling it in the fashion of how Zeph braids his whiskers, his mustache. It was all these fan requests. I mean, I just watched For Neverworld's review on this, and he got it spot on. People have some weird recommendations and requests for Oda to draw on his cover pages. I mean, it's getting weirder and weirder, and For Neverworld got it spot on. Check out his video, his class. So we go straight into the chapter where Cracker is clapping more and more Biscuit Knights into existence. He's just like, and they're all popping up out of the woodwork. So his Biscuit Knights are coming into existence, and he calls out King Bomb, the big tree guy, and he's saying basically, you're treacherous, you're a betrayer. And Bomb explains about the Viva Card and how Nami's kind of controlling them. They can't attack Nami because of her possession of the Viva Card. And Cracker doesn't care. He's just like, bruh, you gotta explain this to Big Mom, but I don't care. You're standing here in front of me as a traitor. He doesn't really seem to do anything. I reckon it was Cracker who lopped off Bomb's head, because Bomb's missing part of his, the top part of his head where all the leaves and stuff should be. So he calls out, Cracker then calls out Nami for causing his Biscuit Knights to soften because of her reign. So she says Cracker can cry all he wants. It's no excuse to lash out at her soldiers. And the homies all like, your soldiers? And she's like, she pulls out the Viva Card and she's like, got any problems with that? She's got a really sinister looking face. And this was hilarious. This whole chapter was actually pretty funny. She was just controlling them, and everything Luffy was doing, his faces and stuff, hilarious. So so Cracker and the Biscuit Knights move in to attack Luffy, and Luffy's just there saying he's stuffed and needs to attack. He needs to find another way to attack because he can't eat anymore. So Nami releases a weather egg and orders her homies to defend her while she's releasing it, and while the rain's starting to take effect. So she then mocks Cracker and saying that he thinks he's hot stuff because he's the right hand of a Yonko, but Luffy will be Pirate King. And I was like, yeah, this is going to be the speech where Luffy gets all riled up and stuff. And then she's like, so his hunger's endless because his hunger's limitless because he's going to be Pirate King, because that's his dream, that's his goal. And Luffy's face when she says this is priceless. He's just like, no, don't say it. He's just like, no, he's been eating all night. He's been eating for 11 hours straight and he can't eat anymore. And she's saying that he can carry on eating. He's got an endless pit for basically his stomach. So the homies are then shocked, and it's a really comic scene where the homies are all like, yo, Luffy's stomach's got to have endless capacity. He's in an endless well, a bottomless pit. So Luffy's just there trying to deny it, no, really, I can't do it, but he's going to have to do it anyway. So Nami's weather egg releases rain. I forgot what it's called. It's some sort of rain cloud or something. And Cracker's biscuits become sodden with the rain. So Luffy continues to eat he eats his way through these Biscuit Knights while his tears are overflowing. That was hilarious as well. He's crying his eyes out, but he continues to eat so he can see Sanji. So while all this is happening, Chopper and Carrot have been sighted by the locals in Sweet City, the capital city of what's her name, Big Mom's little country type thing. I forgot what it's called, Whole Cake Island. So Sweet City. And the locals have seen Chopper and Carrot running through their mirrors, and they're being chased by Brûlée wielding the scythe, and she looks a lot like what you'd imagine a Grim Reaper to look like at a distance. And Chopper and Carrot are just holding their balls clad in iron and stuff, their iron balls and their chains. They're just holding them and running. And Carrot saying she can't do it anymore. I assume they're gonna have to take out Brûlée. Brûlée isn't even that strong, and they should be able to take her out. So we then change scenes again. We go to Germa, and Judge is told their preparation for departure is ready. Sanji's face is getting fixed up by this mask that Reiju places on his face. It's like this jelly looking thing in the shape of a face, and she puts it on his face and it fires off all this electricity. And I just like to point out, a lot of the stuff that Germa do seems to let off electricity. I mean, they have that electro looking thing, this electro being what the minks use, but they have the same thing going on. So everything seems to be letting off electricity. Everything seems to be very mechanical about the Germa, and we already know they're foremost in science anyway. So, but electricity specifically, just lightning and everything. So Reiju puts it on his face, and Sanji's face basically becomes swelling free but his injuries are still there, but the mask removed all the swelling, so his face is basically it's not bruised anymore because all the swelling's been removed. But his base injuries are still there, even though I couldn't really tell. So maybe it covered his injuries as well while the mask is on, and it removes the swelling while the mask is on, but his injuries are still there. So she then tells Sanji that the Charlotte family won't change their name in marriage, as you lose your maiden name as a lady. But life could be joyous for Sanji if he tries to get his wife or his fiancée to like him. So she tells him that this is the extent of her help. She can't help him any more than this, because if her brothers see her doing it as a child, she said the same thing. But even now she's saying if her brothers see her doing this, she's going to get owned by her brothers. So this is the extent of her help, and it's really his fault for getting caught up in the whole Gemma thing again when she told him not to come back. So she then asks where he got his chivalry from, and he flashes back to the Bharati once again, where a young Sanji and the chefs, they seem to be arguing. In my opinion, they're arguing with Zeph about the all-male staff in the Bharati, and Zeph says he trains the cooks he has with kicks and stuff, and he's telling them all to shut up. He's saying, shut up, there's not going to be any ladies here, and they're all like, boo, which is pretty funny once again. And he says that he trains the cooks in the Bharati with his kicks. When they make a mistake, he kicks them on the face, kicks them on the head, everything, but he won't treat a lady like that. So Sanji then asks why, and Zeph's all like, Zeph gets annoyed at this. He's like really shouting. He's like, men aren't meant to kick women. It's an ironclad rule of this universe since before the time of dinosaurs. So he then kicks Sanji's head, and Sanji's got like lumps going to the moon. And he tells Sanji that he can screw up as a human being, but if he screws up as a man, that Zeph would castrate him in a funny way. He'd castrate him and then kill himself. And Sanji asks why he would go that far. Why would you castrate me? Okay, but why would you kill yourself if I messed up as a man? And Zeph says that it's his duty as Sanji's parent. And Sanji just kind of blushes, and Zeph tells him not to grow up into some kind of into kind of a stranger and an asswipe, basically, that he'll come to despise. So Sanji says, so we come out of the flashback, and Sanji says to Rage, he repeats exactly what Zeph said, and he says he's following the rules of the universe. And I laughed about that. I was like, this whole ironclad rules of the universe before the dinosaurs were born, that was hilarious. So Sanji is told by a maid that they're departing soon. So we then see Judge, Yonji, Niji, and Sanji aboard a wagon with a huge cat that's kind of replaced the traditional wagon and horse type thing, very old school. So we go back to Luffy, who's in the seducing woods with Cracker, and he says he can't eat another bite. So for once, Luffy can't eat another bite. This is like the first time ever. So Cracker moves in to attack Luffy himself, and Luffy activates a muscle balloon, so we assume he's going Gear 4th again. But he activates a different form of Gear 4th. We've never seen it before. It's called Tank Man, and it's basically, and he calls it full version because he's full, he's stuffed, as in he has a full stomach. It's not that it's like the unlocked version that he got with some sort of keygen, I don't know. But Luffy is a huge ball-shaped Gear 4th looking thing, and from his shoulders to his midriff, just below his midriff, and below that, he's clad entirely in Busou Shokuhaki. He's just a huge ball, basically. He almost looks like a cannonball with little arms and little legs. So Cracker attacks him with a honey pretzel, which is a devastating move. We've already seen him use it before. And just like Doflamingo did, Cracker's attack sinks into Luffy, but much further than Doflamingo's attack first did when he kicked Luffy with a toe poke type thing. And he practically gets swallowed up by Luffy's stomach. He falls into Luffy's stomach with his sword and everything. So Luffy tells Nami not to produce any more rain, saying basically he needs the Cracker armors, the Biscuit Knights to stay solid. And he then cannonballs Cracker's body through these incredibly hard armors using Gomu Gomu no Cannonball. It's a new move, and it was kind of funny because this goes back to like Luffy being a very unorthodox and original and creative fighter. And a lot of people will be salty about how Cracker got defeated, but you have to remember, in One Piece, the whole thing is Luffy is very unorthodox. He was never taught to fight. He was simply thrown into fights and then taught to survive. He's a survivor. So he always makes up weird and funny moves that might look useless, but he's always trying out new things. He's like a very ADHD type guy. And we saw him do it against Eneru. We saw him do it against pretty much everyone, where he used that Gomu no Gomu no Octopus and Gomu Gomu no Baka type thingy. But yeah, so it was nothing new, but a lot of people will be salty about it because they thought One Piece was taking on this serious tone, but it will be One Piece. This is typical One Piece. So he cannonballs Cracker straight through these incredibly hard armors, which it took Gear Force to break, so they're solid. And he gets Cracker gets propelled straight through 3 of these guys. His teeth are broken, and he flies away unconscious and defeated. And Luffy says, "I'll see you in the ends of the New World." Basically, he's been, I don't know where he's going to end up, but he's been catapulted a mile away. So it was a good chapter. I liked it. We got to see a new Gear Fourth mode, Tank Man. This has opened up so many doors and has opened up so much potential for what Luffy can do with Gear Fourth. If there's a Bound Man, I think it was, and a Tank Man, there's got to be other forms. If he's named 2 of them, there's got to be other forms. So I'd give this chapter probably around a 4 out of 5, just because I enjoyed it. It would probably be a 3.5 out of 5 on a normal day, but the new Gear 4th form, the comedy in this chapter was gold. Seeing Sanji and everything, and seeing Luffy for the majority of the chapter, I liked it a lot. So it was a funny chapter, 4 out of 5. We got to see Luffy's creative approach once again at taking down someone stronger than him, and yeah, Nami helped him, and it was just good. We got to see, and this might even cause, like, this might be the start of Luffy's crew, the Straw Hats, having to tag team against people who are stronger than them. But I don't think it's probably going to go that way. Maybe Cracker, being a swordsman once again, was just kind of Luffy's natural enemy. So let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I enjoyed it. Let me know any theories you've got down below so I can talk about them if they're really good. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.